Sit up straight.
Well, the preparation was a lot. It took a lot to put this program on at Chicago, and I thought it was going pretty good till the bottom fell out. That's the old expression for a hard rain. What'd you think?
Well, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Then the Saturday race got all screwed up because of the rain. So
Well, really, lightning too, more lightning.
There really wasn't no race.
Yeah.
They just run. So Sunday come up, and then I turned on TV, man, and the water was knee deep. I said, oh man, it's going to be a mess. But everything's kind of flowed. And really, once I looked at the overall situation up there, it was good that they started with the track being wet, because all the guys were kind of careful. They watched what they was doing, even though a couple of them spun out. They learned the racetrack, okay? Then when it did get dry, then they could really start racing. So I think the overall deal, the race was better that it started slow with the rain and stuff, because I think if they'd turned them loose to begin with, I think there'd been real chaos, people learning the track. So to me, the race turned out about as good as it could have.
Well, here's the way I see it. I think it would have been better if it had been dry. They'd have started double file if they couldn't have wrecked no more. But it showed how tough that body is on that particular race car. Now the running works and the suspension's not, because it's brittle, it breaks. But the 8 car was windshield deep in tires. But the boy that won the race, Shane, no disrespect to him or nothing, he was good. I mean, but it fell right in his wheelhouse. Wet weather and street racing. The only thing different was he normally sits on the right side. He had to adjust to the left side, and
he adjusted pretty dang good.
He adjusted good.
But it wound up 2 or 3 different races. Okay, different people at the front. But the big deal that I seen once this all settled down and stuff, he won the race because he stayed out of trouble. But you had the 45, the 19, 2 or 3 other cars that eliminated themselves. So that made it a lot easier for him. And then at the end of the race, and I never got figured out, before they had the last caution, or when they did they tell everybody it was going to be 75 laps instead of 100? Because some of them stayed out, okay, about, 10 of them or something, they stayed out, and the rest of them pitted. And at the end of the race, the 91 car had the advantage because he had new tires and stuff. So he was able to break anybody. He didn't win the race by outrunning them down the straightaway. If you notice on TV and watched him, he just drive in the corner a couple car lengths further than anybody else. And that's where he was making his time.
You talk about that. There was a caution with about 47 laps to go. And they, from about 20th place back, I'm guessing, if you could look at it and see, they said, well, this thing's going to get dark, so what have we got to lose if we pit? So a bunch of them pitted, and then about 3 laps later, there was another caution, and it come up that the race was going to be shortened to 75 laps. I wish they had a figured where the ones that had stopped the previous caution would have had to stop again, whether it would have been 81 laps or 82 or 85 or ever what. And then after the race, there was one camera shot where I didn't think it was very dark. Then there was another angle shot that showed it was pretty dark. But I bet visibility when they called the race was a lot better than it was when it first started. So they would have adjusted some to it. And in the road courses, and this was a road course, if you want to call it that, street course, road course, they've cut out, they still have the stages, but they don't throw the caution. Yeah. But that call, cutting the race short, was the same as a stage.
Yeah.
And
the only thing about it, it come at the end of the race, and nobody had a chance to overcome it.
Exactly. Although the 91 did, and like you said, but it put some cars up there that was beat.
Yeah.
And
well,
then
even the boy that runs second, he ran 15th or 20th all day long, but he was in the right place at the right time.
If I had to judge who really got the short end of the deal, was the 20 car, because he was good all day until he got way back there in traffic and had to start passing and wrecking. And
anyhow, it really wound up being, I don't know if it's a good race, a better show than what I really anticipated it being. So from the overall deal, from what I can see and read and think about, I think it was very successful for the first time that we tried anything like it. In spite of the rain, I think everybody was anticipating it so much, they just stayed to see what was going to happen.
But it's the same old saying, do you think a lot of it was curiosity?
Well, a lot of it was curiosity. Now, where they got cured of the curiosity, it won't show up the next time, I don't know.
If we just hope curiosity will bring them back with no rain. But, they changed a lot of stuff. I'm repeating myself on shortening the race. I think shorter than they should have. I wish they'd made that first group pit again. And then starting them single file, which they just about had to do under the circumstances.
I look at the deal and think about it. Instead of running 100 laps, they ought to run 75 to begin with. You know what I mean? They ought to shorten the race, because it makes it more interesting if everything's put together in a shorter time, because everybody's got to do their stuff quick. So there's not as much strategy and stuff. So.
But going back in history, way back in history, long races used to draw the crowd. We went to Dover. I'm just bringing Dover up. It was 300 miles, and they couldn't get a crowd till they went 500 miles, and of course Rockingham was 500 laps. But that's just going back in history.
But that was the time.
People
don't have the patience to sit for 5 hours and watch a race or watch anything. So the shorter the races are, probably the more interesting it is.
But we still got to 600, and that's
We'll
a
always
long
have
day.
that one.
Yeah, and of course, and now we got another one that starting a race at Atlanta at 7 o'clock. We hadn't seen that. 7 o'clock p.m. and just thinking yesterday we was out at the 4th of July, and we used to run Daytona Beach always at 10 o'clock on the 4th of July. No matter how it fell, what day it fell on, and we'd go run the race and go back to the beach that afternoon and cool off. It was great.
Times have changed, baby.
Time has changed, and you have too a little bit.
Not a whole lot. I'm still here.
Okay, bud.